What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Yee Yee podcast. I am back in the office for the first time in what feels like months. It's been like...
Yeah, do you feel a little rusty? I felt like I was the substitute teacher the last 2 weeks.
Did the kids respect you?
No, they did not. They did more
Honestly,
than
I
you,
enjoyed
actually.
Yeah.
There's probably a
I think we
reason
got
for
more
that.
work done. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, the whole office was much more productive.
Mm-hmm. While you
Less
were on
cornhole.
vacation, it felt like we were on vacation.
God, that feels so bad. It's like, that's what they think of you. Today we have on Maddie. This is the first time you've ever been on the podcast?
Yes, that is true.
So the infamous Maddie. So tell people a little bit about what you do at Yee Yee Apparel and how long you've been here and just kind of your story since coming.
So I started off as a shipper, and then I slowly moved my way up into customer service and office manager. I've been here a little over, I think we're going on a year and a half, and yeah, I'm the customer service person. So if you email, that you're talking to me right here.
It's crazy that it's been a year and a half.
That was before my time.
Yeah,
How
you were
did-
here before Ben and Brian.
How did
Yeah.
you find? Did they find you, or did you find us?
So my boyfriend, which is now my fiance.
Congrats. We're going to
Thanks.
talk about it in a minute.
He was like, hey, you should reach out to them and see if they'll hire you. So I reached out to Hayden, and that's where it all
You
began.
reached out to Hayden. I thought Hayden reached out to her.
Or
It was something. I think she reached out because I had worked with Jonathan. So Jonathan,
he was friends with you on Facebook and saw that y'all
and
were.
I had just done a show with him recently. He
Mhm.
works in the music industry. He was tour managing for Sam Riggs at the time.
Wow, that's crazy. What a blessing.
Yep.
You saved us. It's been great.
So Parker, talk a little bit about that because it's so easy with all the different content that we're putting out to see, what you're doing or what I'm doing, or even, now Ben and Brian being included more as we push out content. But then we've got all these people behind the scenes, and Maddie is kind of spearheading that. So talk a little bit about like how she helps us be successful behind the scenes.
Yeah, Maddie is the face of our brand. She's the first point of contact whenever you contact us, and then soon to be all direct messages as well across all platforms, I think, depending on how we go with this other platform. But anyway, if you email us, then you're talking to Maddie, and it's been super cool to have somebody that we can trust, that's personable, that has good emotional intelligence, and can deal with people. And a lot of times with a lot of companies, you're dealing with people who are outsourcing or using third parties in other countries. Like I just dealt with a company who I had to return a shirt, or they just sent me the wrong shirt, and I got an automated message, and it said please wait 3 to 5 business days for a reply, and it was someone not in the US who spoke broken English, and so it's just a pain in the butt. So it's really nice to have someone like Maddie that we trust, that's personable here in the office, that people can see on the vlogs, can see on the podcast, and it's like that's who you're talking to when you're talking to Yee Yee Apparel. And then Maddie has been super open to taking on different roles as we've grown, and so that's started out with just shipping, and then it was shipping and customer service, and then now it's helping out with all of the product placement in the warehouse, and we're getting a new barcoded system with where everything's going to be UPC coded, and there's just a bunch of like behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't know in terms of getting all the orders in the right place, and the way that we print them out, and that sort of thing. And then also dealing with the 25 to 30 plus people that we hire every single launch.
That's a huge part.
And then Maddie coordinates all of their shifts and their payroll and day, evening, weekend shifts, and which we plan out like a month in advance, and then most of those people have to leave, and then she also trains all of those people. So every time it's like another 10 to 15 people that we're bringing on that Maddie has to hire and train and teach, and stuff that we would not be able to it just helps offload a lot of our workload so that we can focus on the brand and the marketing product.
Because and if you've been listening for a while, if you've listened from the start, you know this, but early on days, it was a lot of you doing everything. And I granted, we had, one single shipper, but you were doing a lot of the management stuff. Whereas over the last year and a half, Maddie has taken a lot of that stuff off your plate. in the Yee Yee Nation Facebook group, which if you're not a part of it yet, join it. I think it's Yee Yee Nation Official. But after a launch, like there will be people that say, I already got an email that my package is out. Thank you so much. And they tag me. And I guess it's just because I, lead that group or whatever, and I'm the admin, but that's like has nothing to do with any of us. And I remember, so we've struggled with, as we grow, with shipping times, of course, like any business will, but we're getting better. And I think a lot of that has been a testament to you running that back there. I mean, some of those launches, like when we first started doing this, and I guess Maddie was on the team, but we really hadn't figured out a lot of stuff yet. And you were still like kind of in this role where you weren't as much a manager or a director. You were kind of just like helping out. We had some crazy shipping times. You remember that?
Yeah.
Like
I think it took like maybe 2 weeks or even longer than that.
Yeah. And people would be like, I ordered on the launch day, but then I look up their order and it's at 9:30 p.m. And I'm like, oh, you're behind a lot of people. So yeah, well, thank you so much. I'm glad that you finally came on. I was in Mexico last week. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I was in Mexico and I saw the thumbnail for the last podcast. I was kind of checked out. I didn't really do much here, but, and I saw that they talked about your engagement, and then I was like, oh, cool. Y'all had Maddie on the podcast. And like, no, we just talked about it. I was like, why did y'all talk about it and not have Maddie on the actual podcast? So you got engaged.
I did.
That's very exciting. Will you tell us a little bit about how it went?
Yes.
Right here in Georgetown.
Yep. So I was just having a normal Sunday. We had driven to San Antonio, came back. We got back about 1 o'clock on Sunday, and I wanted to take a nap because I was tired. We got up early, and my friend was like, hey, do you want to go on the square? Let's go to Mesquite Creek. I was like, we were just on the square for 4 hours the night before. I don't really want to go. And she goes, but no, come on, it'll be fun. And I was like, okay, let me ask Jonathan. He's probably going to say no because he was on the square too. Well, little did I know they were planning my engagement. So like 5 o'clock rolls around. I see Jonathan starting to put on a nice shirt, his Red Wings.
You have to know at that point, right?
No,
you
that's
don't.
The thing. Yes.
Because Jonathan is just like
no, he never wears.
Yeah, he's just always. And I saw he still had the flat bill hat on.
Yes,
he still had the hat on.
Yep.
Like you can never take that off.
No. And so, I had on like cutoffs and a tank top, and then I saw him start putting on like a nicer shirt, and I thought, maybe I'll go back and change because he was already in the car. I was like, I'm gonna go put on a dress real quick. So I went and put on a dress.
He didn't even tell you to put on a dress or anything?
No, I just got the hint. And I'm glad I did. And I hadn't washed my hair. I had it up in a ponytail. He did make the comment like, you could probably wear it down. And I was like, no, I'm going to leave it up because it hasn't been washed. So we're driving, and we go to Mesquite Creek. I'm trying on rings just because I wanted to see if I'm still the same size. Well, little did I know he's freaking out because the ring that I was trying on was too small. And it was a size 7, and it was too small.
Panic sets in.
Well, my ring now is a size 5.5, and that's a huge difference. So him and my best friend are talking. They're like, we got to go. Let's hurry. Meanwhile, he's freaking out.
Is your best friend with you, or is she already at the spot?
No, her and her boyfriend are with us.
Okay, cool.
So she's kind of like making all this happen.
Yeah.
Like telling Jonathan, hurry, chug your beer. Let's go. We got to go. The engagement was supposed to be at 5. I think we got to Mesquite Creek at like 5:30. So then they're like, Bailey goes, I'm hungry. You just told me you weren't hungry, but okay. She goes, let's go to Golden Rule. I was like, okay. It's kind of pricey, but we can go. She goes, I'm hungry. Let's go now. I was like, okay. So we start walking. Walk up to the hostess at Golden Rule. I'm right beside Bailey, so I hear the hostess tell her, let me go check and see if your table is ready. And she wasn't supposed to say that.
Right.
They had this all planned, like she was going to see Bailey walk up. My sister had told the hostess what Bailey was wearing. That way she doesn't say that. But I still didn't get the hint, obviously. And so she comes back. She goes, oh, yeah, your table's ready. Well, that girl had gone into the back room to make sure my family was ready. So that's what she was going to check on. And then we go back there. She opens the door. At this point, I still don't know. I just see my family peeking their head around the corner, and I haven't noticed at all. I'm just like, oh, wonder why they're here. And then I look to my left, and there's this big wine barrel with like love marquee signs, and that's where the ring was. And I was, oh my gosh. Well, Jonathan forgot where the ring was.
Oh my gosh.
So we walked right past the wine barrel. Everybody's like, no, turn back. And he's freaking out because my sister-in-law was supposed to hand him the ring, and then he was going to get down on one knee. Well, they changed it up, and the ring was on the wine barrel. So he was waiting for her to hand the ring, but really that wasn't the plan
Just awkwardly
anymore.
standing
Yes.
there.
So I walked straight in all the way to the back, and they're like, no, you got to turn around. And Jonathan's over there, and he's like, well, here it is. So that's pretty much how it went.
As a girl, do y'all appreciate the theater and the theatrics of it with like all of the props and the planning and all of the people? I know you're a huge family person,
Yeah.
and so it's probably important for you to have your family there.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I could
not
also see a
one-
couple that like just has it just them two and makes it really personal. I could see both ways.
Yeah, I'm definitely not one. I wouldn't want it like some people do it at like baseball games or concerts.
Always
does.
No, I'm not someone
And
like
some
that.
people are like that. I think it's different, but
Yeah.
for anything that I've ever thought about, I'm like, oh, that's kind of tacky.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I liked how he did it, and he knew. I've talked about it for a long time. He knew exactly what I wanted, and they outdid themselves.
Brian, how
It
would
was
you like to
awesome.
be proposed to?
I was trying to
Well, I know when you said that, I was thinking about how a lot of people have proposed at a Granger concert.
Yeah.
To happens like that, and it's almost every single concert.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool when it's on stage, and if you both have a bond with a certain
Yeah.
artist.
True. And and you hear those stories a lot of times that they met at a Granger concert, or they that was their first date or whatever. And so that whenever and I guess that happens a lot with baseball games. Maybe that was a first date or something. You go back to the Dodgers game or whatever. I saw a graphic the other day about how much it costs for each MLB team to propose, and I think the Dodgers was like $1,000. It's the
Wow.
most expensive.
I think in Cabo would be cool, maybe with your girlfriend's family.
See, that was another thing. That was another thing. The July 4th weekend, I didn't know he brought the ring to the beach in Port Aransas.
Oh, wow.
He was thinking about it,
Oh.
but
he got wet feet, literally.
yeah. But I knew, like, he told me to take nice clothes there, and so I thought, oh, it's happening, because we never like.
And that's like y'all's spot. Y'all go to
Yeah,
Port
every
Aransas a
4th of
lot.
July.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was like, why don't we take some nice clothes just in case we go to dinner? Well, we don't ever go to fancy dinners in Port Aransas, especially.
I don't think it
It's hard to
exists.
find.
Yeah, I
No.
don't think it exists in Port Aransas.
And so I was kind of freaking out. Well, little did I know it was in his backpack where my my laptop was, but I didn't know at the time. And he was like, it was laying right on top. You didn't see it? And I was like, no. He goes, well, I figured if I would have hid the ring, you would have found it. So I just laid it on top. And then he decided that the backdrop and the whole kind of like vibe at that house wasn't what he wanted, and he knew I wouldn't like it.
It was
which
a party
I'm glad.
house.
Yeah,
I saw y'all partying. It
Yeah.
looked awesome.
yeah. So he decided to wait a week and a half, and then it happened.
Come on, every girl wants to be proposed to, like 7 beers deep, a little
Yeah.
bloated. It's like
No.
that's every girl's dream, right?
And I knew he wouldn't propose by the water because his biggest fear is losing the ring in the water or in the sand.
That
Yeah.
would be awful.
My dad proposed to my mom. They were just at his apartment, and he said, "Can you go get me a glass of milk?" And she got up and then opened up the fridge and got the milk, and the ring was just behind the milk in the fridge.
That's pretty funny.
It's so it is crazy how well, and you've worked in wedding video
yeah.
industry and photo industry, so like it's just crazy to me how you hear about a lot of our parents. It was like this non-outlandish thing, not a show at all, and then like everything nowadays is just one-upping, and I think that's the
Social
entire-
media.
Yeah, social media
Yeah.
has done it. I think that's the entire wedding industry a little bit, but I always like it whenever people do something like a little bit more toned down, or
Yeah.
like just I had a buddy that got they had like someone hide out to take pictures in bushes, but it was just them two, and then
Yeah.
they went somewhere else, and we were all waiting. Like they went to somewhere, rented out somewhere.
See, Jonathan's always said those people that are acting so surprised, like someone's hiding, their family's behind them. He's like, they're not really surprised. They all planned that. She knew, everyone knew.
It's that picture.
But then he did this, and I was like, well, I had no clue. I was clueless. But I guess it's different
Crazy. Crazy. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
I don't know why in the world you would ever be taking advice from 3 dudes that are not married on a public podcast, but we thank you for
She's
joining
like, I
us.
never said I was taking your advice.
Yeah, true. It's like one one ear in, out the other.
Yeah.
Whatever. That
In one
says.
ear, out the other.
Okay, yeah. I can't.
Luckily,
I
we
can't
have a
speak.
year and a half to plan. So
There you go. Yeah, y'all have already got a wedding venue, right?
Yep. 2022.
Georgetown.
Because of it's taking so long because of the venue.
No, I just went. Like that's the first thing you do is book the venue. So I went to and looked on a Wednesday. My mom was like, "Let's go back again and talk more to the owner." And we went back, and he was like, "Yeah, I've already booked 2 Saturdays since the last time I saw you in October, and I knew I wanted to get married in October." So my mom was like, "Let's just do it. Let's just do it now.
Yeah.
I think this is a place. Everything is beautiful in here. You're not going to find another place like this." And so we just.
So that was the reason that it's that far out is because of that venue, right? That's
Yeah.
crazy how far in advance.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of which, I saw a stat the other day that they're already predicting, of course, because people book weddings far out. 2022 will have the most weddings since I think either 1983 or
Oh,
84 because
Yeah.
everyone's, a lot of people still held out this year because of COVID. Of course, there were no weddings
Yeah.
last year and then a lot of this year. But yeah, everyone is it's going to be the top year since like the early 80s.
Yeah,
which is just
literally
exciting.
every other vendor, like the photographer, the cake person, all that, they're like, "You're a little early to be talking to me. You usually wait like 8 months out." And I'm like, "I'm just trying to get ahead of the game here because
get ahead of it.
my luck, it'll be booked when I
Yeah.
want to come."
Well, we can't wait. Obviously, Brian and Hayden and I will all be groomsmen.
Yep.
Just looking
Yep.
forward to
I already
that.
talked to
Bridesmaid.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Already,
yeah.
well, a bridesmaid for Brian. Hey, we're open to anything. I'll be the ring bearer. I'll be
Oh,
a
okay,
ring
yeah,
bearer.
that's perfect.
Can
Yeah,
Cooper come down the aisle as well?
Yeah, he
Cooper
can be
could
with you,
bring-
Hayden.
Yeah, me and Cooper. Brian,
Maybe
you
he
could
can
be the
even
flower
have the
girl.
ring
There you
around
go.
his neck or something.
I've seen people do
Yeah.
that before. Yeah. Cool. Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about the fall launch, and also Bristol will be in. I know y'all talked a little bit about this last week on the podcast. So if you're new or if you didn't know, we do these big launches. Our fall launch is September 17th. It will be the biggest launch ever. We're pretty sure, by far. Parker can talk a little bit more about the crazy cool items that we have that we've never really done before, but we're already gearing up. Brian, why don't you talk a little bit about the content? We haven't really, well, we've done some stuff. We've
done
started.
2 shoots so far, 2 or 3, and this coming week, as y'all are hearing the podcast, I think we have 6 or 7 in a row that we're going to be doing. So it's probably going to be my busiest week of the year.
Yeah, you always hear about Hell
So-
Week, but you literally have like a hell month.
Yes.
It's just a month of just shooting and editing,
Yes.
and it's crazy for you.
Yeah, next week
I'm
is your
excited.
shooting week, and then we're just trying to get ahead of the game. So that would be pretty good if we could get all of that done a month in advance, and
Yep.
then it takes you. The editing is the hard part.
Yeah. So I'm excited though.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about I know we've talked about this, but someone maybe their first time listening, talk a little bit about the new products, because we always do shirts, we always do hats. We've got hoodies like we've always had for our fall launches. By the way, a lot of people have been asking about hoodies. We usually don't carry them in the spring, summer. We just bring them back in the fall. So September 17th, we'll have hoodies. But talk a little bit about the custom items that we have that you've been working for over a year on some of these.
Yeah, we have for sure coming out a soft shell jacket that is has a concealed carry pocket and a holster, and we're actually going with Matt Carricker from Demolition Ranch next week to do a cool photo and then maybe a short like skit with him to promote it. But that one's been about 15 months in the making. And then we have 2 flannels that we haven't done in a long time. Those were about a year to develop. We just did like a red buffalo plaid and then a nice blue plaid, just because I feel like those are the most common to start with. And we customize the fit and the feel and the fabric and everything with those, and it's awesome custom packaging. Each one has like custom tissue on the inside, custom hang tags, so it's definitely the most thought and attention to detail. And so I think you'll really see this launch with those custom products that you're just getting a lot of value out of it. I think it's going to be really cool. And so the 2 flannels, the soft shell, and then we have a heavy duty canvas work jacket. It kind of has like a Carhartt feel to it, but we tailored it so it's not quite as bulky. I'm actually working right now to try to get them to air those to us, to get them to us by September 17th, to get them to us on time.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
And then we also have a custom hoodie that's not going to get here by the fall launch, but it's going to be a custom woodland camo completely custom, and then custom women's beanie that y'all got to feel and touch.
Oh, yeah.
If any of y'all are familiar with the Love Your Melon brand, it's that type quality, super high quality women's beanies. And I think that's all the custom stuff off the top of my head.
The beanies are sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, we talk about Maddie's transition into doing different things, but here recently she's just been like a product development assistant, I feel like, because we're trying all the women's stuff out on her. That's been interesting for our brand. I remember the early days. I remember when I first got here, Parker was like, no, women just want the same t-shirts that men have, and it's fine. And then you look at now what we're doing. It's whether it's leggings, whether it's these amazing beanies, whether it's women's ball caps that are, more geared towards women, but they're not necessarily women, all of them. But yeah, Maddie's been like our guinea pig for a little while now.
Yeah. We have the dark green, like a nice subtle dark green woodland camo leggings that are coming out, and we're resizing them so that
We've worked really hard on those.
Yes. we have worked very hard on the sizing for the leggings, because we had a few people complain that they were falling down a little bit. So this is like the 2.0 that's going to be releasing this fall, where we resize them. And we also have a men's beanie that's going to be releasing, I believe. And then, it'll be good.
Cool. I am going to read off Granger's tour dates real quick for the rest of August. There are obviously more dates, but I'm just going to read off August. Make sure if you want tickets or if you want to see if he's coming to your area, because we're hitting a lot of new spots in the rest of 2021. Hopefully nothing gets canceled. But this is the rest of August. August 23rd, the Western Idaho Fair in Boise, Idaho. August 26th, Bend, Oregon, amazing town. August 27th, Waterville, Washington for the North Central Washington Fair. And I guess that's just the rest of August. There's a lot of September dates. There's a lot of October, November. So make sure y'all go to grangersmith.com/tour. And that's where you can get your tickets. You can get VIP packages if you want to meet Granger. Y'all have been at some shows here recently. Y'all have been saying that the meet and greets have been insane.
They have. It's been awesome. A lot of Smiths fans and a lot of people's first time at a Granger concert. So it's been really cool to see.
Yeah. That's really cool. I was watching the Smiths the other day, and it's just crazy, some of these lines that he's had for some of these shows. I saw a cow. Were y'all at the show that there was a cow in the meet and greet?
I saw that one.
I wish.
Yeah. The cow looked very docile. I just realized we're doing the milk thing.
Was the cow just a big fan?
The cow was a big fan. Well, it was funny because Chris Lee was like, does this cow have a meet and greet pass? And then they put the meet and greet pass up on it. But it was very funny. It was a classic, just some fair. I guess they had just showed the cow. So I just got back from Mexico.
How was Mexico?
Oh, a dream. So it's weird because I was out for a week with a sickness that I'm probably not going to say, but you know what it was. And then, because I don't want our YouTube to get taken down. And then last week, I just parlayed that sickness right into Mexico, just went to Mexico for the week. And then I'm in office for 3 days, and now I'm going to Scottsdale. So,
wow. You look very tan.
well, I'm tan now. I've got the gold chain. I'm feeling like
Listens to Parker McCollum once.
Yeah, listen to
Yeah.
that gold chain cowboy. Yeah, I'm really feeling like I'm living my best life right now. I feel like, well, Tyler always rocks the gold chain, and I'm rocking it. The story behind the gold chain is that I was in our
Someone's phone went off. Let's see.
I didn't want to say it, but my
Whose
phone was on.
it
Do
is?
not
It looks like
disturb.
it looks like it's going to be an automated message too.
It's from
not even
Amazon.
a person.
It's from Amazon. Well, I felt bad because I just now took it off of Do Not Disturb because I didn't realize that I had it on Do Not Disturb. So it's only right that I have to do this.
And what kind of milk do we have this week?
We have Muscle Milk.
We didn't feel right doing it without you, so this is our first week back doing it.
If Muscle Milk would like to sponsor us, we could use it.
If you don't know what's going on, we have a tradition here on the Yee Yee podcast. Everybody puts their phone in the middle on loud. First person to get a notification, a text, or a call has to chug a pint of milk. This week we have vanilla muscle milk.
40 grams of
4
protein.
grams of protein.
This is good though. This is I feel like it's more beneficial than whole milk. I don't know. Maybe.
Probably a little
get
harder
some-
to chug.
Oh, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Hayden chugging the muscle milk with a pouch in his lip.
That's
A
country
little
right there.
extra skill.
Yep, that's just as bad as I remember.
It's just as bad.
Well, we're going to go to a break and let Hayden recover from this, and we will be back.
We'll be right back. We want to start doing this once a week and calling out one of our fans that we see, or one of the listeners that comments a lot and is always interacting and engaging. So, Brian, what was his name?
This week we have my special friend, David Bow.
I think it's Bo. I hope it's not Bo.
Sorry, David.
Hope
Please let us know how to pronounce it. And thank you for always keeping up with us and sharing nice comments. We appreciate it, and it doesn't go unnoticed.
Thanks,
So,
David.
Yeah, thank you, David. So make sure you comment below and say why you should be the listener of the week next week.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Hayden, you were just in Mexico. What was your favorite part?
Well, I was talking about Mexico before I was so rudely interrupted and had to chug a milk because of my Amazon.
How was that, by the way?
notification.
We concluded that was worse than regular
Yeah,
milk,
it was
right?
worse than regular milk. Yeah, it was definitely worse. Mexico was great. Everything was incredible. The only bad part of the trip was I went on a 4-hour fishing trip, supposed to be catching marlin, and this was 2 weeks off of an amazing fishing trip in Fort Lauderdale. And I understand, like, sometimes, you know, it's not the boat's fault, it's not the captain's fault. Like, they're trying to put you on to fish, but we were out on the boat. I had to wake up at like 5:30 a.m., be on the dock.
Which is never fun on vacation. It's just kind of like, what am I doing? But you know, you're a big deep sea fishing guy now, so you're probably excited.
I've gone twice, really only once, but yeah, it was awesome. That trip wasn't quite so awesome. We were on the boat for like 4 hours. We got to see the sunrise, which was beautiful in
That's
Cabo.
always the best.
Dude, it was like,
Oh, yeah, I saw that picture on your
God,
Instagram.
it was insane.
That was
And-
awesome.
And I was still excited at this point because, you know, I was still had the promise of catching fish. But we went for 4 hours and never even like had a bite, which was, you know, it sucks. But
happens, though.
no one else, like, they were on the radio and no one else was catching anything. But yeah, it was beautiful. I felt kind of bad, but for the first hour and a half, so we were only trolling at first. And I thought we were going to troll, get a feel of the water, see what's biting, see what actual trophy fish we may be able to catch.
What is trolling again?
It's whenever you go pretty slow. You can do this in like lakes and stuff too. I mean, we never grew up really doing this because it's kind of boring. But it's like, it's kind of what people do when they just want to drink, honestly, and they don't want to actually
You
fish.
drop a line in the water, and they're
Yeah.
going like 15 miles an
Yeah.
hour.
And on those big sea boats, I mean, they have like, I think we had like 8 lines out. And yeah, so we did that for like an hour and a half, and everybody else was so tired in the group. There were 3 other people, and I was just staring. For an hour and a half, I just stared at the poles, waiting for one to hit and see that bend. And then it never did, and I was getting so tired. And so I laid down and had a little bit of a nap on the dock because I realized everybody else was sleeping.
Was it a pretty big boat?
Yeah, but they had these little, like on the back, they had these little pads that, I don't know, I just laid down. It was really, I mean, I would nap for like 5 to 10
Nice.
minutes. I felt bad, but, you know, the captain would come down and he would say, or the deckhand, whoever, his helper, he's like, we're trying. He's like, I'm on the radio. No one else is really catching anything. So that kind of sucked because I was in Florida 2 weeks ago, and we caught a bull shark. We caught some tuna, and I caught an African pompano, which the captain said they hadn't caught in a few years on that boat. They're fairly, not rare, but they don't catch them all the time. So that was pretty cool. So I kind of had high expectations, but it is what it is. It was funny whenever I was filling out the survey. They were like, well, I didn't fill out the survey because I was like, I'm not going to fill it out. Like, why would I fill that out? One of the guys in our group, he went to fill it out, and it said, like, how was the fishing equipment? And I said, just put NA. Like, we didn't even use it. You know, we didn't even touch it. And then they said, best catch of the day, ? And he just said, none, frowny face, which is kind of depressing. As we were pulling up too, the social media guy for the company, like, met us on the dock, and this company they're just real big about social media. He had his phone out, and he was like, how was it, guys? I'm like, don't just go away. We didn't catch anything. So I thought we were going to stop and actually fish, but they said on that boat, they just do trolling, which I probably would have gone on a different one if I knew that, but I don't know. Maybe that's all they do in Cabo.
So how does the Gulf fish compared to the good old, what is it that you had and where did you go? Minnesota?
Oh,
Ice
yeah.
fishing?
I went ice fishing.
And that you said that was the best fish that
Well-
you've ever had. How does that compare?
Well, it's fun. I went with a couple of guys in Yee Nation, Dan, Jason, and Josh. Shout out. I think that's their second shout out on this
That
podcast.
is.
Man, lucky cats. That was fun. The fishing wasn't great on that trip either, but we're going in again, and we're going up to I think it's Red Lake. I think it's like the walleye capital of the world. The walleye was the best fish I've ever.
So how
had.
does walleye compare to like some of the saltwater fish that you have?
Oh well, it's not the same. Like walleye's amazing, but like I had bluefish tuna that obviously I didn't catch, but I had the day that someone else had caught. I had bluefish tuna and I had red snapper that was just at nicer restaurants. They're some of the best fish I've ever
and
caught.
I guess they just prepare it super nice.
Yeah,
at
and it
those
was nice.
restaurants.
I mean, there was two of the nicest restaurants in Cabo, so it was really, really good. But walleye, like making your own, just throwing it in like in a fryer and making it just like you would like a catfish or something. That was the best freshwater fish I've ever had in my life. So, yeah, it was a trip. I came back and just like grew a gold chain now, so I'm rocking the gold chain.
It looks good on you.
Well, it's also so I got the gold chain. That's what I was saying earlier. I got the gold chain because classic Parker. So if you didn't know, Parker has a pretty large following on TikTok. So he has a lot of brands reaching out to him. This is like a day before the trip, and I was in the kitchen and I said, "Man, I wish I had a gold chain." Parker goes, "I've got two." I was like, "You have gold chains? You don't seem like a gold chain guy." He goes, "Nah, some company reached out. I hope they're not listening." He goes, "Some company reached out and gave them to me. So now I own two gold chains that are definitely not real."
They're real. I mean, as real as I don't know how real they are, but they're not cheap.
I don't know anything about jewelry, so I'm
Neither
wearing
do
them.
I. But
I'm wearing them until they break. I guess I'm a gold chain guy now.
shout out to Jackson. That's the name of the company.
That's the name of the
so
company.
I can say I gave them their shout out.
Yeah, there you go. You gave them the shout out. Okay, cool. We're gonna cover a little bit of like current topics. We've been looking at some different things that are going on this week. There's some hilarious stories out there. Ben showed this one to me. It's actually just like breaking this morning. I think the article just came out this morning. But have you all seen that Mountain Dew is coming out with an alcoholic drink?
I saw that last night and I thought it was just a meme,
Me too.
but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is
Would
it
you
just pre-mixed? Obviously.
It's So Mountain Dew is owned by Pepsi, and Pepsi is collaborating with I don't know what beer brand, but some beer brand. Would you try that, Maddie?
I don't know, but Jonathan is a Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah, he is. He's always
He's
got a Mountain
obsessed
Dew.
with Mountain Dew.
Might have to have that
I wonder
at the
if
wedding.
he's seen it yet.
The only thing is that it's
Mountain
a
Dew
seltzer.
keg.
Yeah, Mountain Dew
Ooh.
keg. Gross.
Oh,
Oh, gross.
So we don't know if it's a seltzer or what kind of alcohol it
It's-
is, like tequila or vodka.
It's got to be a seltzer. All of these companies are jumping on this seltzer game.
And Mountain Dew's just going to throw their logo on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
everyone's
says
doing that.
PepsiCo and Boston Beer are teaming up to create Hard Mountain Dew, an alcoholic flavored malt beverage. The drink is expected to hit shelves early 2022. You know what I read that is really interesting, and seltzers have blown up in the last couple years. They actually have tapered off a little bit, but they've been blowing up, and it's been like the arms race to get into the seltzer space. But I was reading that beer volume declined 2.8% in the last year, despite alcohol consumption being the highest rate it's been in 2 decades.
wow.
Because of seltzers.
I think
Because of the
it's
pandemic.
COVID.
Yeah.
I think people are just getting drunk because it's the COVID. Because it's
Wait, did you say that beer sales were down?
2.8%, but overall alcohol consumption is up.
Oh,
The
so
most
so
years.
you guys' point is that people are just going to hard liquor instead of beer.
And seltzers.
And then do you think that it's because of the pandemic that everybody has
I
been
do.
drinking?
Yeah, it's definitely why people
Yeah.
are drinking more. I was just wondering why beer sales are down.
Yeah, I think that's the race to the seltzers. Y'all should get a keg, a Mountain Dew keg.
That would be funny.
At the bachelor party, at least.
Yeah.
This will be out by that time. So if
Oh, we'll have to
you
try
have any
it.
city boys coming that want malt
Ugh.
Mountain Dew, sounds disgusting.
Yeah, it does.
The case for it was really funny too. It was like a little much. Do you think Taco Bell will have a Baja Blast alcohol?
In Vegas, for sure. Because at the Taco Bell in
Yeah.
Vegas, they serve alcohol.
There's one in Austin too.
No way, really?
Whenever all that got announced that Taco Bell was going to start serving alcohol at a few different locations, one of them was in Austin. I don't know if it's still going because
I
that
didn't
was
know
like
that.
2 years ago. But yeah. So
I've been to the one in Vegas.
what's it like?
It's just like a Taco Bell with
Alcohol.
alcohol. Yeah.
but is the food?
But it's like 2-story.
it's
and
called
Yeah,
it's called a
Vegas.
cantina. The Taco Bell
yeah.
cantina.
It's I'm trying to remember. It was late. Yeah.
We'll talk about
The food was the same.
talk
though.
about fantasy rankings, like drunk food. That's got to be up there. Taco Bell's like on the list. So you don't even really have to go anywhere. You're just at the canteen.
Did y'all ever go on a Jack in the Box tacos kick?
Yeah.
I had some buddies from Dallas
Yeah.
who were obsessed with 3
Yeah, I
o'clock in the
didn't.
morning Jack in the Box.
I didn't, and I tried it one time, and I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
should
either.
never like eat them like in daylight. It's just one of those things
Yeah.
that like you just shouldn't really see it. You just like inhale it. At, like,
I'm
3
pretty
o'clock in
sure the
morning.
Jack in the Box in my hometown is laundering money because I've never seen a car there. It's been open for probably 15 years, and no one ever goes
That's
there.
because you haven't been there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
True. Maybe that.
Have you ever seen the Whataburger in College Station at
Oh,
like
it's
2 or
awful.
3 a.m.?
It's awful.
Yeah, there's some that you're right about. Like, there's some places that should only be eaten in the dark. Have you ever been in the Taco Bell line and been like, I hope I don't see anyone I know?
You're getting Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Dude, Taco Bell really is good though.
it
Yeah,
does.
honestly.
It hits
their
different. Yeah.
quesadillas.
Why do people hate on it so much?
Well, because I think that you've got
It does
like
go.
five.
It does go through you.
Yeah, you've got
True.
5
Joke.
minutes to get to the bathroom.
Yeah,
It's very true.
it does.
Yeah. Other thing that I saw is Guy Fieri, is making a hot dog. So have y'all seen the Field of Dreams game? So the Field of Dreams movie, famous movie with Kevin Costner. They play baseball in a cornfield in Iowa. So you can still go there. You can go on a tour and everything, but they're actually playing a Major League Baseball game there August 12th. I guess it will have already happened.
Yep.
But Guy Fieri is doing a collaboration. I love saying that. I could say that all day. He's doing a collaboration with Chevy for the game, and they're making hot dog apple pies. Would you try that?
I would not.
You wouldn't try it? Would you try it? You're a picky eater though.
Yeah.
Maddie's a picky
So
eater.
am I.
I don't know.
Does that mean that there's
I don't
pieces of hot dog in a pie, or does that mean
No,
that there's apple pie in the shape of a
Well, I'm
hot
gonna
dog?
show it to y'all real quick.
I'm not a meat pie guy.
And we'll put it on
It
the
sounds
screen.
terrible,
Nope,
but
nope.
you're
think.
not trying
well,
that.
Tyler had a good point. He said it's basically just like a sweet pig in the blanket.
You're right. Yep, I changed
That's
my
a good
mind.
point.
I would try it.
When he said that, I kind of thought,
Yep, it's just a kolache.
It's just a kolache.
It's just a sweet kolache.
It really is.
I'm
Well,
more of like a jalapeno cheese guy, which I think is a Texas thing. So if
Yeah.
you're from the Midwest, you probably think we're crazy. But that's that's like combining the sweet kolaches with the jalapeno cheese, which is interesting.
Well, I was listening to a podcast with Guy like yesterday, and he said that whenever he called his team, he had the idea about it. He called his team, and the first thing that they asked him is, "How many beers have you had?" Because they're like, "There's no way this is gonna work." And he's like, "I promise you." And I don't know the story behind it, but he was like, "I know it sounds crazy, but like I tried it," and he goes, "This thing should be literally frozen in every single grocery store in America, and you can just buy it." It's like, I don't
like
know
a
about
toaster
that.
strudel or something.
Yeah, like a toaster strudel. Yeah, it's like if it's weird. Is that dessert or your meal? Maybe it's smart because you knock both of them out in one sitting.
Is it an afternoon snack? What is it? When could he have this?
Yeah, I mean, speaking of running through you,
Yeah.
that's.
Could be
Yeah.
breakfast.
I hope those bathrooms
Yeah.
at the Field of Dream game are really good.
As if America needed anything else to our heart disease issue.
It's like, why are we fat? Oh, because apple pie hot dogs made by Guy Fieri.
Yep.
Did y'all see another one that's been making the rounds on the internet? Maddie, did you see the guy that was on the Frontier flight that got taped up to the chair?
I did not.
Have you not seen this?
No.
I haven't seen it either.
Y'all haven't seen it? Okay, well, we'll insert the clip.
Right here.
But this guy, so you saw it. The guy literally was just, I saw that he like groped a couple flight attendants, and I think he punched another one.
That'll do it.
And so the flight attendants just got tired of dealing with him, and they taped him with like packing wrap. They taped him to the chair, so he was just like,
What
and he
the
was
heck?
very, very inebriated, and probably some other things. But I've always thought about that. Every time I get on a flight, I'm like, this could be the flight that like some video goes viral, like someone doesn't comply or
It's
whatever.
happening more often.
Yeah.
I know.
Ever since COVID, it's happened so much, and I think people are just high strung and having to wear masks and follow special rules. It's just gotten to people.
His name was Maxwell Berry. He's 22, classic, of Norwalk, Ohio. So if we have any Ohio people, tell us how far away that is from you, because I'm sure we've got some listeners that's like right down the road. He punched a Frontier Airlines flight attendant and groped two others on a flight from Philly to Miami. He said quite a few things that we can't repeat, but one of them was that his parents are worth $2 million blank dollars, which my thinking is, and no hate, because I've flown all the airlines before, but why are you flying Frontier if your parents are worth $2 million? It's just kind of weird to me.
Well, if you're gonna brag about something like that, and then flying Frontier Airlines, so
Yeah, he was hammered.
I would think that they would have like some sort of like restraint mechanism
Right.
instead of just like saran wrap or
Yeah.
something.
there's
That's
gotta be.
I'm
interesting.
assuming this happened mid-flight. Otherwise,
It
they
did.
could have
Yeah,
kicked
it
him
was
off.
like towards the end of the flight. I mean, Philly to Miami is a long flight too.
Yeah.
And supposedly, the article was kind of funny. They said after his fourth drink, he started being belligerent. And I was like, well, that's not his fourth drink. That's probably his, he probably had some airport
Yeah.
beers.
I did see a video this week that was really funny. Well, awful, but funny. This guy was on a plane, and he totally forgot. Like, you could tell he totally forgot where he was. But he lit a cigarette, like, mid-flight and just started smoking it. And then the flight attendant came up and was like, sir, you can't do that. And you could tell on his face, like, he realized, like, oh, crap, I'm on a flight right now.
Yeah, see, yeah, I mean, maybe, but, like, you know where you're at.
Yeah. But,
I don't know. I think to some of those guys, it's just so second nature that you could do it without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like putting a piece of gum in.
I was watching Airplane. Have you ever seen Airplane, the movie from, like, the early 80s, late 70s?
Is the cover of that movie just like airplane tied in a knot?
Yeah, within a knot. By the way, talk about, like, humor that still stands up years and years later. You've seen it, Ben?
Yeah.
It's so funny. But the entire movie, it's comedy, but they've got, like, people just railing cigarettes and stuff. And you watch old movies from that time, and you're like, oh, wait, yeah, that's right. Everybody was just getting hotboxed by cigarette smoke, like in the 70s, or any time before that. So, crazy. But, yeah, that guy, he got, like, 3 battery charges, and, yeah, what an idiot. What last thing I will ask is, whenever they taped him up, I mean, he deserved it. Like, totally deserved it. He was being an idiot. But what happens if that plane goes down? They have to land or do some type of emergency landing, whatever. That's a fire hazard now. He can't get out. Like, I think those flight attendants are going to get in trouble. Which is crazy.
But what are you supposed to do with someone like that on a
I
plane?
don't know.
Surely they have protocol where
Yeah.
they know what to do. Or they have a taser
Then
or
again,
something.
it is Frontier Airlines.
Yeah. It's the Wild West. Literally the
I would be
frontier.
a fan of knocking out the last, like, 6 rows and putting them in those restraining suits and just throwing them in this little room. You know what
I
they
thought
do?
you were going to say throw them off the plane.
Yeah, throw them off the plane. No,
With the parachute.
Yeah, with the parachute.
Like one of those water slides that you get in and the floor drops out from under you. They put you in
So
the
bad.
bathroom.
No, I'm talking, like in the movies, whenever someone's like a danger to themselves in like jail or prison or something, and they just throw them in the room where it's like literally a sponge room. Imagine if all the walls were just like mattresses. You can't hurt yourself, and you're like, I think it's a straight metal jacket. No, that's something else. I don't
How
know what
sad
it's
of a
called.
world would we have to get to where they had to have that room on an airplane?
We're not far. I don't think we're very far. All right, we're gonna go to break real quick. We'll be right back. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Yee Yee podcast. We're gonna roll right into the fantasy rankings. We've got Maddie joining us today for the fantasy rankings, which is the first time, obviously your first time on the podcast.
Yes.
But are you nervous at all about the fantasy rankings, knowing how much we argue about these and go back and forth about who won?
I don't know. I feel pretty good about mine.
What's funny is we just told Maddie like an hour and a half ago that she was going to be on the podcast today. So
I didn't have much time to think about them.
Okay. I mean, Brian is never prepared, so you're already a leg up on him.
All right.
He's like, yep, that's true.
You got me
I
there.
have nothing to say to that.
Okay, so the fantasy rankings today is going to be life's minor inconveniences. Not big things, but anything that's just an inconvenience in life that you have to do. So we're going to, with you being your first time on, we're going to let you go first. So you get the first pick in this fantasy draft. Go ahead.
I would probably say when you're running late and you hit every single red light.
It's a great one.
It's every morning for me.
Yeah. Do you hit a lot of red lights on your way here?
There's not very many. There's
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you got lucky.
but the other day I was running late somewhere and I didn't hit a green light.
yeah, it's always when you're running late.
Yeah.
It's like the universe knows that you're running late. And it's, yeah. All right, Brian, what you got?
My first one is fender bender. And
Oh, you know a lot about this.
I say that because I got into a fender bender last week.
How'd
And
that
it wasn't
go?
bad. It was no damage to the other person's car, but it was a very big minor inconvenience.
It was funny too because I saw Brian pull into the office parking lot. I was like, "What's wrong with the front of his truck?" It's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. He got into a fender bender."
Yeah. It's getting fixed on Monday. So
Okay. Expensive?
insurance.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, my number one minor inconvenience is, wow, we're really going with the car thing. Number one minor inconvenience is stopping to get gas. It's the worst, and I know I could just get an electric car, but I'm not going to do that because I support gas use. Maddie.
Sorry.
But yeah, I hate stopping to get gas. You're rocking and rolling. You don't even need to pee, and you just have to stop and get gas, and like it gets you all out of sync. And then Cooper is in the back seat, and he wants to stop and get out. So yeah, I hate stopping to get gas. It's like the worst thing that you can do on a road trip or just going anywhere. Parker, what you got?
Life's minor inconvenience. Number one for me is when you go to a food place, drive through, and you get your food, and then you get home and you realize they got something wrong in your order.
Oh.
The worst. Yeah, that's well. Did your parents teach you to check it before you leave?
Yes.
And I never do either.
No.
Yeah, I never do.
My dad always tells my mom, "Did you check?" Well, then that's why it's wrong.
Then it's your fault. Yeah, that's such a classic dad thing to say, by the way.
Because then I don't want them to be like, especially like a Chick-fil-A, which is the most common drive-through that I go through. They're just always so nice, and it's like, surely they didn't get it wrong. And actually, Chick-fil-A, I don't think has ever gotten it wrong.
I got it. Chick-fil-A got my order wrong once, and you know what? Since it's Chick-fil-A, I just accepted that they know better.
This is what I wanted. It's like, I was wrong.
I got fries, and I think that they put fruit in there instead, and I said, you know what? Chick-fil-A knows my body better than me. I needed
Well, the same
fruits in
thing.
there.
I ordered Coke, and they gave me Diet Coke.
Exactly. See, they're just making us better people
Yeah.
in the end, you know?
Thank you, Chick-fil-A.
Thank you, Chick-fil-A. We're still looking for a Chick-fil-A sponsorship. All right, Maddie, what you got next?
I would probably say another minor inconvenience would be getting in bed and forgetting to turn off the lights.
That's a great one. What about the fan? Does the fan worse or better?
I would say lights. I have to sleep in darkness.
Sorry, I'm supposed to be checking into. I'm so sorry, Maddie. I just ruined all your thunder. I'm supposed to be checking into.
I thought that was Ben for
supposed to
a
be
second.
checking into my flight right now.
You gotta chug a gallon of milk. Your phone went off.
Yeah, chug a gallon of milk now. Yeah, well, it's also like it's really inconvenient. So in my bedroom, I can reach over and hit the light.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones out there. Thank you, Parker, because I live with Parker, and I know whenever he bought the house, he looked and said, you know what? Whenever Hayden lives with me, he's not going to have to get up out of bed and change the light. He can just do it right from his bed.
It's all about that remote control light.
Oh, do you have a remote control?
Yep.
Wow. You've also got a weird apartment. Why don't you tell the listeners real quick sidebar about your shower?
My bathtub is probably 8 square feet or more. You could fit like 3 people in there side by side.
Well, 8 square feet isn't that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
And then the shower head has 6 knobs and 5 different like shower spouts.
And they're like up and down the wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you used the bottom?
I used it the other day. It was great. I asked him which one to use, and he just like set up the system for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like a wall of water.
It's got like a waterfall feature that's really nice.
It's basically a water park.
Yeah,
The bottom one is kind of like a bidet. Do
I
you
don't
use
want
it
to
for that?
at all.
Have you never used it as a bidet?
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. You won't answer the question. I just got a bidet and I'm so pumped to use it.
Oh,
I've
wow.
had to go to the bathroom all day and I'm just waiting until I get home.
Wow.
Oh my.
Yeah, welcome to the podcast, Maddie.
Thanks.
All right. My next one
Yeah.
is forgetting your computer charger at home.
Oh.
And I'm speaking from experience because that happens to me a lot. And there's nothing worse than having to ask people that don't want to share their computer charger with you if you can borrow their charger for like half the day.
I forget mine all the time, and Parker is smart because he's got his like wired into his desk, so it's so much of a pain that I don't even go to him anymore. He knows what he's doing.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's my anti-Hayden theft system.
I'm like 1 minute away from checking in, so I'm just kind of like monitoring my flight.
Southwest
Yeah,
too.
Southwest, you got to check in 24 hours out. You got to do it as soon as you can, because if not, you're just going to be.
One time I checked in late, like super late. I was like maybe 5 hours late to checking in, and I was in the A class,
Really?
like A12.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Where were you going?
I think Vegas.
Was there anyone on the flight?
Yeah, it was a full flight.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
we're
another
not all
minor-
that lucky.
It's another minor inconvenience is flying Southwest and having to check in
Yeah.
like that.
Well, and it's always on the way back because like I'm busy all day on vacation or whatever, and then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta check in. I'm 6 hours late. One of life's minor inconveniences is slow Wi-Fi. I always feel so bad complaining about it because it's like, dude, 50 years ago we didn't even have computers, or like 20 years ago we didn't have Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi, it's the worst. Whenever it's slow, we've just gotten so used to having fast Wi-Fi, and whenever you don't have it, it's the worst. We used to have terrible Wi-Fi out here
Yeah.
at the farm.
I remember as a
bad.
kid where you couldn't use the phone and the internet at the same time because we had dial-up.
Yeah. Did y'all ever have the well, I guess that was before our time, but did you ever have the like party lines where I guess my parents talk about it all the time. I guess I'm showing my age, but like everyone on your block would be on the same line, so you'd pick up the phone and Miss Johnson down the street would be on the phone. You'd have to get off and wait.
Wow, no.
Yeah, they really roughed it back in the day. We're gonna get some comments about that.
It's crazy how good we have it now.
We're all under the age of like 29. Well, most of us. All right, Parker, what you got?
Number 2, life's minor inconveniences is the fire alarm low battery chirp.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good one.
Smoke detector.
That's a good one.
Smoke
that
detector. I
is
guess.
the worst. Especially when you have like vaulted ceilings and you have to get the ladder out and you have to go find it. Oh man. Well, the easy fix to that is just to not have fire alarms.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell if there's a fire happening pretty
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, the fire alarm is my nose. I
Yeah.
can smell it. I can smell the
Famous last
smoke.
words.
Famous last words.
Cooper barking.
Someone's gonna use Cooper barking. Someone's gonna use this if I ever have
Yeah.
like a house fire or something. So
Just so you know, we are pro fire alarm. So don't
we
worry.
are a pro fire alarm podcast. I want to put that in
Just
writing
making
right
jokes.
now. All right, Maddie. Last round. What you got?
My last one would have to be washing your sheets, and then it's time to go to bed, and you forgot to put your sheets in the dryer.
Such a good one. Such a good
It
one.
happens to me quite often.
Wow.
Oh man. Well,
So you either wait or you just go to bed with no sheets
Yeah.
on the bed.
the fix for that.
Buy another set of sheets.
Never wash your sheets.
Never wash your sheets.
Okay.
I saw a stat, by the way. I want you to guess as a girl. I may have said this in the office because it was just mind blowing to me. How often do you think that the average 20 to 30-year-old single male washes their sheets in a year?
In a year,
In a year's time.
I would say like 4 times.
Pretty good. 3.
I was gonna say 3.
3. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bad.
That's pretty bad. How often do you wash your sheets, Brian?
About 3 times
3.
a month.
Okay, I knew you were gonna go there with that. Yeah, especially like Cooper sometimes sleeps on the bed, but he's always in his bed. I'll put his bed up on mine, but sometimes he sleeps on the floor. But if he's in the bed too much, I'm like, you gotta wash these sheets. It's disgusting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're a single dude in your 20s, you don't really need to wash your sheets.
And I just moved here from a college town, and I can say that stat's probably very true.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Is that the whole house? You and your 2 roommates, 3 times total,
Probably, yeah.
1 each. Spring cleaning, and then we're good for the rest of the year. Gross.
You take a shower before you get in bed. And Then
Exactly.
you clean.
If you always take a shower before you get in bed and you keep it cold, you're not going to sweat.
That's right.
All right, what you got?
All right. My third one, life's minor inconveniences, is running out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And
I had that on my list, but I
Yeah.
decided not to
That's a
go
good
with
one.
it.
so it could be.
Good
you're on
thing
the-
you have a shower.
That's true.
Good thing you have a shower with a spout 2 feet up.
Or it could be you're on the toilet already and you realize you're out of toilet paper, or you're about to sit on the toilet and you realize you're completely out of toilet paper. And do you go to the store? Do you take a shower? Do you wash your sheets? What are you doing? So, yeah, that's my third one.
One time I was at a friend's house and I was in their upstairs bathroom and I clogged the toilet and it overflowed
Oh.
and it overflowed so bad that it started leaking from the ceiling underneath,
Oh,
just
no.
barely dripping.
Oh.
It was, and I never told anybody about it. I feel really bad about it. I just remembered that I did that, and I ended up like getting all of their towels, and I ended up drying it on the floor, and then washing the towels, and I unclogged it eventually. But there's probably for a long time water sitting on the ceiling and dripping.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm glad you got that off your chest.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Those are the stories too that are the best.
Please
where
don't
you
make a
forget-
TikTok out of that.
That is a life minor inconvenience.
That is actually borderline major inconvenience. It's like
That's just being a bad friend.
it's like so the whole ceiling on the first floor is ruined. Parker cost us $100,000 in
I
damage.
think I was in middle school.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how old were you? Like, were you? I would have paid money to see the look on Parker's face whenever the water started going over, because it's all fun and games until the water actually goes over the side, and that's when you realize you're in trouble.
Man.
Gross. Okay, my last pick for minor inconvenience in life is losing the correct lid to your Tupperware. This is a weird one, but it happens to me a lot. Because you get done with dinner, you find a Tupperware that fits the size of whatever stuff you're putting in the fridge, you put it in the Tupperware, and then you start looking for a lid and you can't find it. But you got to use that because it's already dirty. So you're like, what do I do? So if you have plastic wrap, I guess you can use that, but I'm more of a Tupperware guy. This happened to me last night, actually. I couldn't find the lid for Tupperware. So
It happened to me last week. Our Tupperware cabinet is just a night. It's like, what's the point of this? I got so mad the other day.
You need the home edit to come organize.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
so Parker and I live together, if you didn't know, and we're both pretty clean. Parker being extremely clean, and every once in a while I'll open the cabinet and all the Tupperwares are stacked. We haven't even talked about this publicly, but every once in a while the Tupperwares are just perfectly stacked, and I'm like, oh, Parker had a cleaning day. The first thing he goes into in the kitchen is the Tupperware, because it does get messy pretty quickly.
Because of you?
Because of me, yeah. Hand up in the air. I'm a big Tupperware guy. I mean, I leave Tupperware at the office all the time, and I know it ticks Tyler off, but he hasn't said anything to me yet. So, yeah, big Tupperware guy, but that comes with some negative side parts too as well. All right, what you got? Last pick.
Oil change. When you got to drop your car off, and then you got to figure out what to do and how you're like when to do it, and then when you're gonna pick it up, and you got to ask people for a ride.
Yeah, you know about that.
Yeah, I had to pick you up.
No, you were going around the office this morning asking everyone if they could give you a ride.
That's
I will say though, you're thinking ahead. You are
Yes.
thinking about 6 days ahead.
Yep.
So I appreciate
Because I know
that.
you're going to be gone this weekend, and I'm have to drop my truck off at the shop on Monday, so I'm just making sure I have a ride to work.
Yeah.
Every
smart.
country boy's just gonna say I should do the oil change myself.
Yeah, they are. Well, I my dad and I used to do my oil changes, and I actually know how to do it, but I can't do my vehicle now that I have. So
It's too short.
need to go back to it. Well, I can jack it up. It's all different under there. Foreign car,
Foreign.
which I'm looking for a truck. So if you know any good new used trucks,
Tesla.
New, used.
not a Honda Ridgeline, hit me up if you're selling yours.
Ford Ranger?
No, not a Ford Ranger. I want a full. God, these are all the worst. I don't want any of these trucks. Please only hit me up if I hate saying this because people will get mad, but I want a Ford or Chevy, preferably a
So
Ford.
a Chevy Colorado.
No, not a Chevy Colorado. I don't want a small truck. I want a full size truck so I can do country things.
You know what I heard about Ford? Is they circled their problem. You get it because it's an oval.
Oh, I get
and
it.
They circled it.
Just a really bad joke to lead us out.
Well, that's all right.
All right, thank you guys for listening so much. We'll be back next week with.
Is he
Do we have
gonna-
any good guests?
Is he going to say it?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna say it. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, we got a good guest next week.
Cool. Y'all make sure you tune in. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe.
Go Brandon Jones Saturday.
Watch the race on Saturday. Eat your veggies. Oh, look at this. Brian not turning his volume on. Crazy.
It's still got
Oh, look
loud.
at this. Parker not turning his. I see how this is. It's an ambush.
Maddie's not doing hers in there.
No, I cannot drink milk. I will throw up.
You know what? I am lactose intolerant.
Okay.
I already have my phone on Do Not Disturb. I beat y'all to it.